Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. Today, I want to talk specifically to the beautiful divine feminines listening here on this channel, because I do know that the majority of us here connect with the divine feminine energy polarity. Now, of course, these labels, divine masculine, divine feminine, are used to describe energy. They aren't necessarily connected with a particular gender. But today I want to talk about how to fully call back your power and activate your inner magnetism as the fully awakened divine feminine being that you are. Because there's been a mass awakening of the divine feminine on the planet. And as a result of that, there has been a pushback on the part of the divine feminine against a very hyper masculine energy culture. And in the process of this, many of us individually are feeling this internal pushback within ourselves. We may have gone through experiences, interactions in recent years in our lives where we finally began to realize the ways in which our beautiful divine feminine energy had been trampled, had been repressed, had been dismissed by other people in our lives. And through these realizations and the realizations of our own limiting belief systems and limiting programming through the subconscious mind that had kept us disconnected from our true inner power, we are now reclaiming that true power through this consciousness of our own internal patterns and dynamics that have been holding us back, and how people in our lives or systems in our lives may have been reinforcing these internal patterns. So today we're going to be talking about how to really begin taking back that divine feminine power, because divine feminine power is incredibly powerful. And when you begin to learn to work with that power within yourself as a divine feminine, rather than working against it, rather than trying to repress it as others may have trained you to do, rather than dismissing it or essentially denying yourself that power, you become a highly magnetic being, a truly unstoppable force, a force of nature, like Mother Nature herself. So before we get into the video, allow me to introduce myself to anyone who is new to the channel. So if you are new here, then welcome. I invite you to subscribe, join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. An added benefit of subscribing is that this does allow me to channel more easily into your energy in this video and in future videos as well, to bring forth messages that are more relevant to you and your current life. Okay, so first let's talk about divine feminine power, because divine feminine power is ironically something that stems from the very traits and aspects of the divine feminine that so many others, systems, cultures, communities, even certain religions, people in our lives, it's the very same power that these systems and people will actually tell us is worthless, or will even tell us is weakness. The dominant power of the divine feminine lies in her ability to intuit, her intuition, and her connection to that intuition. We often call this feminine intuition in modern day society. And this intuition is connected with the ability of the divine feminine to be highly connected to her own emotions and to infuse those emotions into her relationships, her interactions, her creations in a powerful way that actually begins to amplify these things, to attract magnetically things into her life that allows her to infuse emotion and intuition into her art, whatever that is, because of course, art can take many forms. This could be visual art, this could be music, this could be the art of creating a business or creating a home, or the art of manifesting something in her life. The fully empowered divine feminine is a living artist, and her paintbrush and her paint palette are her emotions and her intuition that she can use as her guide. However, many of us growing up as divine feminines in modern day society have actually been taught that our own emotions are weakness, that they are obstacles to achieving, because most of society is still operating under a very hyper-masculine way of achieving, of succeeding, quote unquote, in life and reaching certain goals. So the hyper-masculine way of achieving is to completely set aside all of your emotions, to create through action alone, and to actually see your emotions as a weakness. It's the mentality of grind culture, as we say, pushing through the pain, keeping on the grind, ignoring how you're feeling. In fact, again, seeing those feelings as weakness. And so, as divine feminines, many of us were programmed into this modern society and this very hyper-masculine way of thinking, being, and achieving. And we saw ourselves as being weaker for being so emotional, for having these internal cycles that actually manifest for many of us as a physical bodily cycle every month as well. The divine feminine moves in cycles, moves with connection to her own emotions, her inner world, uses her intuition as a guide. And we are taught that our natural state of being and utilizing all of these assets within ourselves as a divine feminine actually keeps us weaker and prevents us from succeeding in the same way as our masculine counterparts, which of course the opposite is actually true. The divine feminine holds the entire creative power and potential of really nature itself. It is the power of Mother Nature, the force of these what we call natural disasters that even occur around the world, hurricanes, tsunamis, these huge events that are so powerful and such an unstoppable, uncontrollable force of nature that is capable of breaking down any opposition in its path. But it does so in accordance with nature's cycles and systems. And metaphorically speaking, the divine feminine holds this same power. She has the ability to use the nature of her own being to break down all obstacles in her path and to become an extremely powerful force to be reckoned with. But the number one way that many of us as divine feminines sacrifice this power, give away this power, and are never capable of fully experiencing it. The number one way this happens is through leaking our emotional energy to other people because we don't value it. So the divine feminine naturally has the ability and the gift of being capable of empathizing with other people, and in doing so, providing emotional energy to them. And this is a beautiful thing. It's a very healing gift to have. But when we give this emotional energy, time, and attention to anyone who demands it from us without consciously directing it or consciously closing off access to it, we can begin to feel as though we are constantly energetically drained and almost mentally bombarded by these other people and forces in our lives who are trying to take from us emotionally, even when they aren't physically present with us. The divine feminine tends to unconsciously have a lot of what we sometimes call soul ties or energetic bonds with people in her life, whether it's friends, whether it's family members, but especially these bonds tend to form with very wounded masculine energies who might enter her life romantically, platonically, even masculine family members who are highly disconnected from their own inner emotional world, and yet simultaneously tug on the energy of the divine feminine and try to take this emotional energy from her, while at the same time, ironically, very often seeing that emotional energy he is taking from the feminine as not really being that valuable or even being a weakness within her. And this puts the divine feminine in a very confusing position where she finds herself giving away her most powerful gift by leaking out so much emotional energy to people around her. Particularly, again, this very often happens with masculine energies, while at the same time not seeing that gift as valuable, actually seeing it as some kind of a weakness. So the first way to call back your power as the divine feminine is to begin consciously choosing who you are giving emotional access or energetic access of yourself to, and consciously beginning to close off that access to those who might be taking advantage of it, or those who themselves are stuck in certain patterns or dynamics that are causing you, divine feminine, to feel drained. So, of course, this is a process. This isn't something that happens overnight. And the first step to this is really becoming aware of where you are giving your power, where you are leaking your emotional energy, so to speak. And a powerful journal prompt to really get us started as divine feminines on this path of consciously closing off access to our energy, to our emotion, our ability to emote and empathize, is to use the journal prompt, I'm no longer making my energy available for ... and then fill in the blank. So you might find this to be a really powerful practice as you begin becoming aware of where you are giving a lot of energy emotionally, unconsciously, to people around you who are misusing this energy or creating this kind of draining effect within you and your life. And the second way, and I would actually say the most powerful way to call back your power as the divine feminine, is to establish a daily meditation practice. Meditation, especially first thing in the morning, is a real fast track to calling back your power and beginning to cultivate that energy of magnetism within you that you can then focus and channel into what you desire to create or attract into your life. I always say, tune into yourself before you tune out into the world. And a daily meditation practice is particularly powerful for divine feminines and particularly important because we as divine feminines, being nurturing beings that we are, do have a tendency to over self-sacrifice to other people, to give to others before we give to ourselves. So first thing in the morning, your subconscious mind is the most open and impressionable. And this means that your energy is more flexible in a sense. You are able to really set the pattern of energy flow for your day first thing in the morning, within the first 30 minutes of the day, more effectively than at any other point in the day. If you would like a meditation tool you can use during this practice, I've created a powerful subliminal meditation called the Awakened Divine Feminine. This is designed to really assist you in this process of calling back your power as the Divine Feminine. And it also will help you to uproot and rewrite some of those subconscious beliefs that you might be unconsciously holding on to as the beautiful divine feminine being that you are. And in the process, this will help you to become more magnetic and to be in that creative, powerful flow state more of the time, to really effortlessly begin manifesting your desires in life. So this subliminal comes from my subliminal site, soundandsoulful.com. And as you can see on the screen, on this website, I've created over 100 subliminals for all areas of life. So I have subliminals for physical appearance changes, for mood shifts like confidence, happiness, anxiety relief, for love, relationships, money, business, energy clearing, and so much more. And when you sign up for a 7-day free trial account on my site, you can access any subliminal I've created and even create your own custom private playlists as well. So the link to the Awakened Divine Feminine Subliminal is in the pinned comment and description box under the video if you do feel guided to begin incorporating that as a tool during your daily meditation practice. The third way to call back your power as the divine feminine is to create a vision for yourself and your life. Now, there are many ways to go about doing this. You can use a vision board. I know that some people will keep a photo album on their phone with pictures of what they would like to attract, create, experience in their lives. You could write down a series of goals or certain things you would like to manifest or achieve that we sometimes call a manifestation list. Whatever works for you and whatever resonates most for you is definitely the best way to go about creating this vision. Listen to your intuition. But however you create this vision for yourself, having a vision is really powerful because this essentially begins to create a sort of structure, a gate of energetic boundaries around your divine feminine energy. Because you are now beginning to focus that powerful energy within you in a more constructive, structured way. This also has the effect of repelling things, people, experiences that might be out of alignment with that vision, or who might be trying to actually get you to give them your energy, your power to build their vision. Because as we often say, if you aren't building your own vision, you're building someone else's vision. So a powerful way to call back your power is to simply begin directing your focus, energy, and intention in a more structured way, specifically in structuring a vision for yourself and your life. And finally, a fourth way to call back your power as the divine feminine is to quite simply begin listening to, honoring, and attuning to your own emotions rather than giving in to that societal programming that tells us to immediately dismiss or reject those emotions. I've found that the most powerful way to begin getting in touch with your emotions is through daily journaling. This is a wonderful tool that you can use to start getting your thoughts, your emotions, what's happening inside your being down on paper. And what this also allows you to do is begin sifting through where are these emotions coming from, becoming more conscious of which emotions are coming from that pure, intuitive place within yourself, which emotions are trying to lead you in a certain direction, and which emotions might be coming from the shadows, coming from unconscious programming that someone or society implanted into you and maybe causing you to react in certain ways. And over time, this allows you to not only get in touch to your emotions, but also to become less reactive to those emotions that might be coming from a place of unconscious programming, and to become more responsive to those emotions, meaning to be able to self-analyze what you're feeling, to ask yourself why you are feeling that way, to utilize and to follow the emotions that are coming from an intuitive place, while at the same time being able to unravel those emotions that might be reactive, coming from a triggered place. So I really hope this video was helpful to someone out there listening. I hope that implementing some of these things in your daily routine, your daily life, helps you to call back more of your power and become more of that magnetic being that you are destined to be. If anything from this video connected with you personally, I would love to hear from you in the comments under the video. I invite you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. Join our beautiful community here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself, and the link to the Awakened Divine Feminine Subliminal is under the video in the pinned comment and description box. I am wishing you a beautiful, magical day, sending so much love to all of you here, and I will talk to you again in the next video.